Hi to my ehua. Welcome, my friend. Welcome to the Soulful Scaling podcast. It's so great to have you here. And if you are an established coach, wellness practitioner, or healer, and you are tired of the hustle, you know you can't work any harder, you're at capacity, and you want to break through to your next level of income and impact, and do that by making sales effortless and fun, I have something really special for you. I'm giving away my step-by-step training, the magnetic sales shift, for free today. This will show you how to harness your sales energy, how to go from pushing to pulling and attract high-value clients and make sales feel effortless. This is the same methodology that's helped over 170 of my clients stop chasing leads and start attracting them using their natural strengths and their most inherent values, the things that they find and hold so dear and near to them. So if you would benefit from signing on 1 to 2 new soul-aligned clients in the next 7 days by just being your most authentic self, then this training is absolutely for you. I have distilled 7 years of rigorous training, learning, application, and skill development on top of all the wasted tears and trials and tribulations and temper tantrums, along with 20 years of experience. And I've put that into a focused 45-minute masterclass. This training comes with practical steps, ChatGPT prompts, work booklets. I don't hold anything back. And it will show you how to speak directly to the desires and aspirations of your ideal dream perfect fit clients so that you can bring in more of those into your business. The aligned achievers, the ones that take what you say, implement it, radically turn it into results in their lives and their communities. The ones that are just like so much fun to work with. They deepen your mastery and they show you what can be really possible with your work. Now, here's the thing. I recently sent this training out to some eager beavers, some eager hand raisers. And what I noticed is that so many of those whom I sent it to haven't actually watched it yet. And for those who have watched it, some haven't, or many haven't fully implemented it. Now, if you knew how important this masterclass was and how much easier it could make your life, you would have prioritized it. I know that. But I think it's this case of so many entrepreneurs being busy for the sake of being busy, not necessarily productive. I think so many people haven't actually realized how much more easeful their business really would be because of those invisible blocks, that hidden conditioning. That's why I figured there must be an extra step to get you all present, centered, open, and aligned to not just receiving the high frequency intention, the incredible potency of this masterclass, but also to get yourself to metabolize, to digest it, and turn it into actionable, inspired steps. If you want to check that masterclass out, which you do, go to biancaa.com/shift and you'll grab your copy. But let's also help set you up for total success. Let's get you to go through this emotional clearing and energetic realignment process so that you're fully ready to absorb and implement all the juicy goodness. So we're going to do that right now together. Now, this alignment process will clear any blocks. It will help you feel focused, prepare you to fully receive all that you're going to download in the magnetic sales shift. Now, once we've done this, you'll be in the best space to take inspired action and start seeing results. So let's get started. Kia ora, talofa lava. Hello, my friend. I have a question for you. What do you feel like is the biggest challenge for you in your business right now? When you think about your goal, your desire, your vision for how you want to live your life, how you want to construct it, Where do you feel like you are right now in your current reality? Where do you feel like that vision sits? And then what do you think is in the middle? What is the challenge that is getting in the way of you having the fastest, most aligned, most enjoyable path from A to B? What do you think might be able to unhook the obstacle, the whatever's holding you back and slowing you down? One of the questions I have for you is, would everything in your business, in your life, be more easeful if you could shift your sales energy, your energy, into pulling, attracting your dream clients to you in a way that makes them almost already sold before they buy? Like by the time they're having a conversation with you, they're already like, yep, you're my person. It's not even a matter about, if I'm going to buy. It's more like, how much am I going to spend? How long are we going to work together? And when am I going to start? If you had that in your business, how would that alleviate a lot of those obstacles in the way? What would it allow you to make space for if that wasn't a constant worrying, I guess, puzzle piece that you were missing? And I ask this because I have amazing, incredible training, the magnetic sales shift, how to go from pushing to pulling and attract high value clients and make sales feel effortless. It's a pretty compelling workshop. It's a very compelling promise. It's an even incredible, compelling workshop. And it's taken me probably like 7 years to distill it down to a 45-minute potent training with actionable steps. It's not like fluff. It's like, take this, go and put it into your business and go out there, and you will sign 1 to 2 new clients, soul aligned clients in your business in the next 7 days once you do this. But here's the thing. What happens is that it's kind of like, this is the thing that could help you. How do I, you guys in my audience, my soul aligned clients, my wider community, how do I get, this is like the curse of the expert or the curse of the visionary leader, right? I can see what's possible. I'm there, like I'm showing people, once you get to the top of this mountain, everything shifts, everything changes. And yet it's kind of like, somebody's running a marathon. Like my destined soul aligned clients are currently running marathons with their shoelaces tied together. And a lot of my job is to just like slowly jog next to them and be like, hey, we can do it easier. Hey, that backpack that you put on, or that weight vest that you've got on, we can do it easier. I mean, if you want to keep on running with a weight vest on, some of my clients do that. If you want to keep on running with a weight vest on, with your shoelaces tied together, you can do that. You can totally prove how tough you are, how worthy you are of success, how victorious, how much valor there is in your struggle. You can do that. But what if you could run more easily? What if the journey could be easier? What if the journey could be lighter? What would you do with that extra energy? And so much of my work is just like, hey, when you're ready, when you want to slow down, tap, 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 when you want to have the courage that, yes, you might stop. You might stop the progress forward, the like hobbling, when I'm 5 kilometers into a run, it turns into a really weird run, walk, shuffle. It takes courage, bravery, faith, and trust to stop the arduous, kind of like burdened mule trajectory in your business and be like, hang on. We could do this faster, easier, more enjoyable, more effectively. And with that extra energy, completely shift our trajectory into a whole new stratosphere of what could be possible of performance, of human peak performance. But first, it requires you to be brave enough to stop moving, to detach from the idea that the harder I work, the more money I make. Therefore, I'm not allowed to make it be easy. When you can stop, undo your shoelaces, gather yourself, be like, okay, now I can align myself to what I truly want, what really lights me up, what's really exciting, what would really catapult me towards my version of true wealth. That's my job. That's my job constantly. And I just want to address that with you. If you haven't yet seen that masterclass, and if signing on 1 to 2 new soul-aligned clients would be really beneficial to you right now, go watch it. Stop what you're doing, because you're running with your shoelaces tied together. So stop what you're doing and go check that out. Now, it might not be that you need to get new clients straight away. It might mean that actually the possibility of what opens up to you when you no longer think that you have to hustle and pack mule your way to your version of success. Maybe it's just even feeling what it feels like to raise the frequency of your marketing, to attach it to desire, to step out of pain problem marketing. Maybe it's just even, it will create more spaciousness. Would more spaciousness and freedom in your business right now, freedom to do what you want when you want, would that help you right now? Would having a level of instinctive clarity so that you could really call out who it is that you want, what's going on in their life, how you could help them, and allow it to settle into your body so that every step you take is purposeful, is potent, is powerful. And it's almost like instead of these shuffling little running steps, you're actually, doing huge, I'm thinking of walking on the moon, like you travel so far with each potent, aligned, intentional step. So if that's could be beneficial to you, you want to check out that masterclass. Okay. But what I realized is that sometimes we actually need a bit of help. We need a bit of help to be able to take that first step of going, slow down. The way I'm doing things aren't working as well as I would like them to. And I'd like to be open to the idea that I could allow more of my magnetic energy to activate more of my potency, more of my magic, and allow that to be the thing that is the moth, that is the flame that draws the moth in. I would like to be the lighthouse that is a beacon of truth that attracts the people who are most positioned, who are in the life circumstances that can most draw up my magic, that can be most beneficial of the transformation, most receptive, could value my transformational medicine the most. So one of the things that holds people back, holds heart-centered wellness practitioners, coaches and healers back, is our own internal blocks of what is it we're actually really offering, what can we really stand behind, and what is it that we're actually being called to step into. And so I was recognizing that there's an extra step. Perhaps if you haven't checked out that masterclass just yet, if you haven't implemented it, if you haven't digested it, embodied it, metabolized it, and then gone and taken and put it into action, it might mean that you actually need an energetic clearing, realignment before you want to do that. So I'm going to do that right now. And let's get you clear, focused. Will be an alignment process that is for the greater collective of those people who are meant to pick up on my lighthouse beam. So I'm doing this energetically to expand that bubble, to draw people in. And I'm also doing this for you here as you watch, for you to do in real time, so that you can become a clear container, so that you can be more open to your impulses and be able to turn that into income, to be able to turn your energy into earnings. to rapidly shrink the time it takes for you to go from idea, excitement, idea, implemented, result. I'd like to be of service in this way. I know this thing is a really great solution. And hey, would you like to, I'm going to make this offer and this invitation, and would you like to receive it? And boom, we're making beautiful music together. I've got a new soul aligned client. We're off. We're making great traction. We're healing the planet, and we're doing it on the micro and the macro. Okay, so this is where I'm going to test into the energy using the emotional clearing method, which is really a somatic balancing method. And we're going to test into the field. What is it that we need to be able to really shift into this space of watching the masterclass, implementing it, taking that action? So, because I know that in that masterclass there is more info that most people put in their high-level paid programs. So it's important and it's potent, and I want you to be able to get in a place where you can really receive it. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do here is we want to be able to drop in and align to who we really are and align to what it is that we're really offering. So on a greater collective, I'm just going to test in how open are we to our aligned offer 1, 2. So we're already 20% aligned, meaning that if it was 100% aligned, it would just drop in, the truth would drop in. So possibly it's happening in that feeling that spiritual calling of what you want to do, this yearning of pulling you forward, but it's not necessarily landing with clarity in the mental state, with clarity in the emotion, like a good feeling and energetic pull, and then landing in the physical so that you feel really confident in saying exactly this is what I do and this is how I can help you, and do you want to buy from it? Here's how much it is, do you want to buy it? Because I can really help you with that. So right now we're only 20% as a community collective to be ready to call more in. So this process will really also help you expand your capacity too. So what's the energetic block? And I'm just looking at here my kinesiology chart, my Chinese, traditional Chinese medicine, 5-element theory chart here. And so I'm going to use muscle testing, so my fingers, to test into the energetic field of our collective, of our community, of my soul-aligned clients and prospective clients. And I'm just using my fingers in a lock-unlock method, which is part of kinesiology. So that's what I'm going to use to find out the stuck emotions or energetic blocks in our field. So what is the emotion that's blocking us here? So low self-esteem. So this emotion is on your spleen meridian. So you're going to take your right hand to your left-hand side, just underneath your rib cage, and you're going to breathe through a massage, apply pressure just there. I'd just like you to have a big breath in. I'm just connecting into this part of low self-esteem, this emotion that's getting snagged on in our emotional level. So it's like you have the spiritual calling, you have been getting the idea of what it looks like to offer this thing that you most want to think about, but then it's getting snagged in you really feeling confident about it. And it's this low self-esteem of like, I know it's valuable, but how do I know what is valuable to me is valuable to them? And this is purely the universal law of supply and demand. If it energizes you, if it's meant to be for you, it will excite you to talk about it. That excitement is very magnetic. That excitement that comes from this embodied sense of certainty and conviction that it's of value is incredibly attractive to the right people. So if you're feeling it and you're feeling called to do it, it means that somebody out there is feeling like is calling you into it, is wanting to receive this thing that you are giving your energy into. So just as we're rubbing this place, breathing into all the ways in which you've allowed those little stories, all those little ways in which you've not been valuing yourself, been convincing yourself that's not needed. Feel free to pause this video and allow it to move through your body, allow it to, like, you might shift, you might dance, you might yawn, until you find yourself go, what were we talking about again? Oh, it's not relevant anymore. I feel clear. I feel like that's a release. Might be a lightning, might be yawning, might be clearing out or shaking. Yeah. All things. And then for me, it's like I get this little part where it recalibrates, like where I'm holding myself, how I'm holding myself. Often have a big breath. And then I say, how's that cleared? Okay, so for us as a collective, has that cleared? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10. Yes, it's cleared. Okay. So now I'm just still calling in how much is this offer, the thing that you're really excited to offer. And if you are getting ever stuck with trying to validate a concept, the easiest way to get started to think of is who is your highest potential client who could get the most amount of value from this. What is the situation? Speak into that, to that person, get that person in your mind. It doesn't have to be a composite of all the different people that have shared some similar qualities who fit into that bucket. Just think of that one person that if you could replicate their journey, replicate that person in your business over and over and over again, it would be like amazing fun, so easy, so light, so powerful. And it's often far easier to sell your time to that person as you validate your offer, as opposed to if you're feeling stuck because you've got a course, because you've got a bundle of something. If you're getting stuck, allow it to be that highest potential person and just start validating it through giving your time away. What I do with my clients later on down the track is I help them untether their time and effort and energy from how they make money, but it comes from first that deep embodied certainty, because you have a really great connection to your own inner authority, so you can position yourself out into the world as a sought out expert who is known as an authority in your field. The only way that happens is if you have your own connection to your own inner authority. So that certainty comes from practice, reps, connection, observation. The hottest steels are forged in the strongest steel is forged in the hottest fire. That's how it happens there. Okay. All right. So now let's just checking us as a community after that little rant, that download. Where are we right now in terms of dropping this offer and the thing that we're really excited to offer? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Just one little tip: fire, small intestine, joy, not enough joy. So this is on the small intestine meridian, this emotion. So we're just going to rub underneath both hands, underneath your rib cage, and just kind of like in a circular pressure. You don't have to rub it frenetically, like back and forth. It's really just like applying pressure and breathing through that resistance. Joy is so underrated. Before I started doing this work, I didn't really connect to joy. I didn't really understand that's what joy was. I knew what excitement to prove people wrong was, but I'd forgotten that childlike wonder, reckless, like abandonment, just carefree. Sorry, we're rubbing here. Thinking about channeling your most joyful moments, because you need to access that level of joy of just who you are right now in this very moment, recognizing that who you are for your clients is incredibly powerful, and it's part of the transformation that you offer your clients. And it's not just what you do. It's not just what you do that creates results for your clients. Okay, so breathing in, just letting go of all those threads of desire. Joy is your compass on where to go next, what lights you up. So it's lighting you up because just like a battery, someone out there in the world is wanting to receive it. So your joy, your infectious enthusiasm is a massive part of this equation. So letting go any of these blocks around allowing joy to course through you, knowing that it's so important. It's not just an optional extra. You don't have to sacrifice joy in the pursuit of a business that is in the pursuit of breaking through your next income ceiling. Because if you're sacrificing your joy in the present moment in the hope that something in the future might make you happy, then we've already lost the point, right? Because it's not the destination, it's the journey. Because tomorrow never happens. We've only ever got right now to live in. So if we are sacrificing our joy if we aren't saying and prioritizing the thing that I most want to deliver and give to the world. We are dimming our light, and we are being somebody who is saying that what I want, I don't deserve. I have to have a plan B. That's a plan B. Once I've done all these things I have to do that I should be doing. We all know about shoulds. Stop shoulding all over yourself. Okay. Feel free to pause this video if you feel like you need more time to process that emotion or process that block. But have we cleared that for on behalf of the collective? Yes. This is the modality and methodology that I weave together as a sales alchemical process of who it is that you've come here to be, who it is you've come here to serve, being totally in alignment and congruent with the promises that you make and how you package your brilliance up, price it, and then deliver it for incredible mesmerizing outcomes. This is the methodology and modality that I help and use. But we have to have this somatic knowing in our bodies first before you can have those really powerful, rich, rewarding conversations with the people who are most well-positioned, divinely destined to receive your magic. That's the first cornerstone of having a aligned, effortless sales process. So you need to go away, right? Thank you, darling, but I need you guys to go away because I'm doing something. The interruptions are real on a Thursday. You're having a glimpse into what it's like. This is just showing. It's not the best that I do this on a Thursday right now, but in all the ways in which the chaos of life can choke off your creative spark. What I've learned is that if I can just get space to it, if I can just create this piece that will be really, really helpful for you and your journey, I know, because it's come through and I've channeled it, despite the things that distract me, I know it will be really helpful. And I have that dogged determination to keep running next to my audience, right? Next to my soul destined clients, even before you've ever paid me any money, right? The shift, the paradigm shift is how can I show up and serve? And what would I do even if there was, millions of dollars, even if I had $1 million cash in my account, which I do not. I do not have $1 million cash in my account, but what would I show up and do if I did? And knowing that I would still want to make space for this, I would still want to make space for this legacy, this impact, this contribution to people who have really refined skills that help create wellness in the world, that help us heal the planet, one person, one body at a time. That level of support, helping healers, coaches, practitioners who have the highest level of integrity be supported by their business financially, have the nervous system that supports their business, that supports their definition of prosperity, as much as they support their clients, because we know that they are life-changing transformations that you offer. You shift people's complete timelines of what's possible for them in their life. You allow them to have the adaptability, the receptivity of being able to completely create a life that is in alignment to their values, a life that they truly love. And so it is my belief, it is my legacy, it is my mission to make sure that any of that toxic sales paradigm, patriarchal sales paradigm that gets in the way and makes and then creates toxins or disease or stress in your body because it's embedded in your business. That's my contribution. That's the part of a little tiny part of the ecosystem. That's my sacred role in the ecosystem that I contribute. So that was my little divergence there. Now are we aligned? So just notice what's possible for you right now. Notice what perhaps has shifted in terms of maybe it feels really simple just to go out there and make an offer. Maybe it feels really simple to say no to somebody and push back because my work is really important. Right, I just put the kitty lock on the door. What do you know? What do you feel has expanded for you now in your body? What do you notice is free to drop in? How do you notice those pieces dropping in? Because you are now remembering that who you are is even more transformational than what you do. The person holding the tools, the person that is wielding the skills that you do is actually infinitely more powerful than just the methodology or the modality or the, you know, the scalpel that you pick up. Just feeling yourself settle in, sink in to that realization that how you hold space for yourself and how you really acknowledge and admire and appreciate those things that make your heart sing, those things that you say and that you hear from your clients that make you go, oh, that's so delicious. That ability to hold space for yourself means that your presence, just being in your presence for your clients, creates a space that they can transform and they can really flourish in, because you can't take your clients deeper than where you haven't gone before. So the depths that you've been willing to brave, the space that you've been willing to take up, this is all part of the transformational magic that you can offer others. Holding space for your desires and carving out permission for you to pursue them and not be in that constant frenetic state of the pack mule, overloaded, overburdened, versus the prancing Clydesdale. I know when my prancing Clydesdale is in the driver's seat, yeah, she's like doing the thing. She's working hard when she wants to work hard because it feels fun, because she's embodied in her power. She pulls really heavy loads, but she also knows when it's time to stop and it's time to rest, as opposed to when I get into my pack mule, my laden donkey, where I'm just like, oh my God, I'll have a rest as soon as I get this next thing. There's never any to-do list. As soon as I'm just feeling really tired, so I'll just get this last thing done and then I'll be able to rest. When we have that energy in our business, we block ourselves off to the truth of the power that's actually coming through, the certainty, the instinctive clarity, the righteousness, right? When you are aligned to the offer that you're meant to be putting out there in the world, there is a righteousness that sits in your womb. It sits like deep, boom. It sits there, and that's the thing that radiates out, because it gives you the audacity to take up space. It gives you the audacity to go and tap on somebody's shoulder and go, hey, I think you could really benefit from this. It gives you the courage to slow down, untie your shoelaces and be like, I don't care who runs past me. This is really important for me to address this need of my own before I pick up the pace. And you know, when I pick up the pace and the time is right, you know I'm going to go like a bat out of hell. Okay. Now I'm going to just test into who is it that we're meant to be attracting and how open are we? And it's almost just like expanding our fields so that they can find us. Now, what often happens is when we're only 20% aligned and our audience is only 20% aligned, meaning it's kind of like, it's like they are picking up on the spiritual calling. They are picking up on the yearning. They are picking up that, like, they want to be called into something, and yet they don't really quite have the words or the guidance yet to make definitive steps. So they're just kind of like shifting around, moving around. And it's almost like you're at the opposite end of a football field with a megaphone going, hey, I've got this thing that I think could help you. And they're like, hey, huh? And so they have to have this big leap of faith to be like, I don't exactly know what it is you're selling, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be really helpful for me. Then they have the experience of it, and then they're like, that was the best fucking thing I've ever experienced in my life. I can't believe I waited so long. This is our obligation. This is how we have to make sure that we are showing up each and every way, getting really refined with how we speak and how we message our magic, so that we're not just being in this zone of sharing non-specific, inspirational, but broad transformational insights that don't move our audience through to that next phase of, like, I know what it is that you're doing and I want it and I'm hungry for it and I'm even sold before we've had this conversation. I've had to go through my own journey of this. And one of the great, gems that I've discovered is because I've really honed and spent so much time on this, now somebody might enter my world at 9 a.m. and by 12 noon, they've dropped 20K to work with me. All right. So that level of trust that happens because you are so refined in speaking to the blocks, speaking to the objections, weaving their dreams, and being so convicted in your energy that you are this anchor point that's not moving. It's not like shifting in the storm. It's not a lighthouse that's flickering its light. It's like you are the rock that they are attracted to. So right now, as a collective, our audience is only 20% aligned to being able to hear what it is that we've got to offer. So let's just tune in. How do you think your clients might be blocked right now? Your potential prospective clients. Dread, bladder. And this is where we're focusing on your bladder meridian. So this is on your pubic bone. So just applying pressure on your pubic bone, or just even like where your undies, your bikini line is. So we're moving dread to oneself. So the way I relate to dread is like, it's kind of that same thing. If I'm running this marathon, I don't realize that my shoelaces are tied together. But the dread that I might feel if I had to confront who I was if I stopped moving, this like the hustle culture that creates that, who doesn't allow us to trust our natural rhythms. So we're pressing here, letting go of this dread, acknowledging for our clients who are often a mirror of a past version of ourselves. That's often why you get so excited to speak about that, because it's something that you have, it's just the ever eternal, the student who becomes the teacher, the evolution of learning and growing, and then growing more when you get to teach the thing that you've been learning. You get to understand it even more deeply. You get to contribute in a really great way. So often it's somebody who is earlier on in the journey than you and wants to receive that. So there's a similarity. And often this dread is, but if I stop doing this thing that's like constant moving, then I will have to be stuck to feel the feelings that I have not been feeling. And your next level of income is on the other side of you feeling those feelings. But if you just keep on like, I'll be a failure if I stop. I can't stop running with my shoelaces on. I can't stop running. I can't, because then I'll have to sit with this feeling that I'm a failure, or sit with this feeling that I'm not a hard worker, or that I'm not a good girl. Oh. But just like a big, huge, movement, a bowel movement that makes you feel sick and nauseous, and that energy, that block, stuck energy, when we witness it, when we shine the light of our conscious mind onto the subconscious pattern, we can let that go too. Whew. So when you feel that, acknowledge that dread, the dread that's stopped you from slowing down and stopping, and what might be stopping your client. Like, notice how the compassion shifts. Notice how you stop making perhaps the crickets that happen on your posts, you stop making it mean anything about you. Notice that it brings your energy back into, what do I have to do? What's in my control? What is the highest level of service that I have to offer? And what is the thing that I would do that's so important that I would do it if there was money, if there was no money, if there was money, if there was no money, if I was healthy, if I was sick, what would I do, irrespective, irregardless? When you have that targeted knowing, deep knowing, guttural, head, heart, gut aligned, knowing that that's what you're meant to be here for. That's when your sales happen on flow as they're meant to be. Okay, so now just tuning in. Feel free to pause the video if you need to. Tuning in. So what we've done right now is we've cleared the field so that not only are you shifting the dread within yourself and feeling the feelings, we're also making it possible for them to feel the feelings so that they can feel worthy of asking for help, so that they're not stuck in their own loops of this thing is hard, but I don't have the money to buy for it. This thing is hard, but I don't have money. I wish I could, but I couldn't. I wish I can, but this thing has to shift and change before I can have this. Or in all the ways in which we just outsource our power and be attached to the problem, attached to the lack, attached to survival mode and struggle mode, because we think we've got some perverse way of thinking that how hard I struggle is how hard I prove my worth, is how I prove my worthiness and my usefulness. And that's some weird industrial revolution, Protestant, pious suffering bullshit that we don't have to take on from the past. Remembering that you are the answer to the ancestors' prayers, remembering that where you are right now, who you are right now, is already in such a different level of prosperity, of abundance, of opportunity, of flow that our ancestors wish for us. So we can put those pledges down. We can put those vows of poverty down. We can put those vows of silence, those vows of invisibility. We can put all of that down. We can put that down. Are you ready to put that down? Are you ready deep in your body to put that down? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes, we're ready to put that down. What do you know is available for you now when you realize you can put that down? What's available for you now when you know you can put that down? What ideas spring to your mind? What ideas come to you? What joy bubbles up inside of you? Where do your arms feel guided to? How do you take up the space differently in the room that you're sitting in? How does your chest pop out? Where do you feel guided to? Where do you feel compelled to? Notice that there are your soul aligned clients are there along that little breadcrumb trail. Take that next step, that next step, that next step, that next step. You don't have to know where you're going to end up. You only need to know from this feeling point, from this vantage point, from all the information I have right now, what's the best next step, one step that I can take from here to drawing that aligned, ideal dream client, that catalyst that creates a catalyst within me that creates this incredible transformation, sparks this flint of a whole new trajectory of existence, of possibility when you work together. Alrighty. Guys, you need to be quiet. I'm recording. Please be quiet and go away from the door. Okay, so we've just worked on our alignment of who we've come here to be and who we've come here to serve. Now we're going to look at the congruence, which is the horizontal axis. We've just done vertical. Now we're going to do horizontal. What do we need to know in order to monetize? This is where we're really ensuring that we are walking our talk. We are delivering what we promise. We are pricing the things that we're doing in integrity, in congruence, not too high, not too low. Not trying to over deliver, not raising your prices and then over delivering to make sure it's worth it. Not trying to throw, all the whole kitchen sink in there. And it's rare that there's under delivering. I think under delivering happens when you've been taken out of your power by a strategic minded coach who is playing or mentor who is playing a make money at any cost game. That's possibly when it's an under delivering. It's because you're not actually settling in your inner knowing. Alrighty, so where are we at in terms of our monetization? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're at 50%. So we've moved We've moved since we've been doing this shifting. Our ability to monetize and bring people through that, stranger to knowing or being aware of you, to knowing you, to liking you, to trusting you, to buying from you. That journey, currently right now, we are at 50% aligned. But before this process, us as a community, as a collective, we're only at 20%. So we've already done a big shift. And just notice how you've edged yourself closer to, as you've known who you are, you've been able to articulate more and feel what it is that people want from you and need from you, recognizing that just who you are, as well as what you do, combine to create a transformation, not just the skills that you pick up and doing, right? It's the Clydesdale being, putting on this incredible show, looking like pulling heavy loads whilst also looking gorgeous. That's the whole package, not the pack mule who's exhausted and downtrodden and never knows when to stop. So we're at 50%. What's the emotion that we need to clear from this? Fire, earth, metal, water, bladder, piss off, or anxiety, no. Frustration at yourself. So bladder again, bladder meridian, which is on your pubic bone or your bikini line. Just thinking of all the ways in which you've been frustrated at yourself for not getting it more simply, and yet you've been running with your shoelaces tied together. So you're being frustrated at the symptoms of being out of alignment, of not being your most courageous self. And that's only further made it harder. Oh my gosh. Could you give yourself permission for it to be easy? Could you give yourself permission for it not to have to be hard in order and not have to struggle in order to know that, it's like take that part out of the equation, that success equals hard work plus sacrifice. What if success just equals the culmination of small, joyful efforts repeated day in, day out and accumulate over time? Doesn't that feel better? Woo! Okay, feel free to pause if you need more time to let go of that frustration, knowing that the frustration is the heavy backpack. Feeling frustrated at not running fast enough is not going to help you run faster. Oh, okay, has that cleared? Yes. Now, where are we at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Notice the lightness that can come to you now. Notice the lightness that can come to you now when you're not being frustrated at yourself for not being further ahead than you are. And not using, it's like money is just energy, right? Money is just the byproduct that shows up when we are in alignment with our effortless genius, when we are in alignment with who we've come here to be and who we've come here to serve. And we are being the living, walking, talking, breathing embodiment of the leader, the authority, the sought out expert that we've dedicated our life to being a master of this craft. Oh, and just recognizing how if money is just the byproduct and doesn't actually have any value in itself, how can we look at money and allow that to make some level of meaning of how far along we are, right? So when money is just the byproduct of the energy of us being in alignment, and yet looking at the money, the presence of it, the absence of it, then takes us out of our alignment with our effortless genius and who we've come here to be and who we've come here to serve. Can you see how counterintuitive that is? It's like just constantly putting bricks on your backpack and wondering why you're not running faster. Money is only ever like the byproduct. So we look at it to go, yes, it's on track. Look at how it accumulates. Isn't that wonderful? I'm going to keep on receiving, expanding, accumulating it, and my capacity. But what I really love to drink up, metabolize is this feeling of joy, this feeling of service, this feeling of contribution, this feeling of impact, this acknowledgement of the joy I get to experience when I'm in my zone, when I'm helping people, when they're helping themselves, when they are experiencing the ripple effect, the cascade of positive effects that ripple out into every area of their life. There we go. That just dropped all in. So now we have complete congruence. Notice how this feels in your body. Notice what you're expanding into. Yes, we're in total integrity. Yes, harmony. This is my checks. If you imagine a spinning top, we need to be in vertical alignment. We need to be in horizontal alignment. We need to have a really pointy top tip to spin. And then the flow that we get into, the harmonious flow that allows us to lift off and create exponential growth outside of the time and energy and attention and effort we put consciously into our business. We need these four pieces. So this flow, we just need to clean that up a little bit. It's at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The last little part here in our harmonic flow, which is really all about living pono, living in truth, living in righteous balance with the world around you, with our own values and qualities, and being that attractant vortex for those it's kind of like it's like a whirlpool. And anything that is of a match to this whirlpool will get sucked into it, as it should do, as it's meant to. You're creating that vortex in for those who are meant to receive your goodness. So we're at 80% in terms of alignment of our flow. And when our flow is off, it's kind of like maybe you're just forcing a little bit too much. Maybe you're holding back a little bit. Maybe as you're taking steps, you're getting kind of like 3 or 4 or 5, and you're like, yeah, this is awesome. I'm thinking of a hurdler. When you do hurdling races, it's been a long time, but you get into this rhythm, ba-bum, ba-bum, jump, ba-bum, ba-bum, hurdle, ba-bum, ba-bum, hurdle. It's probably obviously different to that technically. But as it goes, sometimes you might just start shortening up your stride. You might just start, sometimes it's like, oh my God, I can't believe how good I'm going. And the thought that, oh my God, I can't believe how good I'm going pulls you off. Sometimes you might just be not stretching out as far as you go along. So this is really what it feels like, what it means to be this flow. And this is what can maybe create a centrifugal force, a harmonious flow in your business that gets you a little bit of way there, but then you sort of wobble and fall over. We want to get it aligned to 100%. So there's nothing, so it's like perpetual motion. So we do a big spin, and not only does the spin is it perfectly congruent, it spins so beautifully that it creates, that self-perpetual motion. Money that we're creating doesn't come at a cost. The success we're creating doesn't require us to sacrifice our current happiness for a one-day future happiness that may never come. And we're never putting our power outside of ourselves, putting the freedom to do what we want when we want outside of ourselves, meaning something else has to change before it can give ourselves permission to do the thing that we really, 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 really want to do. Okay, so what's this thing that's at 80%? Fire, earth, metal, lung, grief, guilt, regret, then go into depression, prejudice, contempt, money, love, contempt, self. So lung. So this, we're thinking of all the ways in which you can be really hard on yourself. And this is the thing about overachievers, right? Overachievers, like most of my mastermind groups, I kind of just say this is Overachievers Anonymous. And the problem is we're actually chronically under-realistic, right? This is from the lady who accidentally manifested triplets when she meant twins. I was saying to God, I was saying to the universe, I want multiple babies. I forgot to say I mean 2, and then 3 came in, right? Chronically under-realistic. And that is part of this self-rejection, indifference to how magical and how incredible you are, and this resistance to but what if I did that? Then 1, I might be visible and attract attention. 2, I might get everything I ever wanted, and that might blow my freaking mind because I've always been told that I have to work really hard. How can I work really hard to get all the things that I really, really, really want in the world? So I won't. So I just dim myself down. And then also in all the ways in which it's a sister wound, right? It's a witch wound, it's a sister wound, in all the ways in which a woman in her power can be diminished, can be attacked. So we are reticent to attach, to lean into that limitless version of ourselves. We can be very reluctant to it, and it shows up as this contempt to self. So we use self-rejection and this ridiculous high expectations of ourselves to whip ourselves into obedience. So that saying of, reach for the stars and then land on the moon. It's all about setting yourself ambitious goals, thinking big and working hard to achieve them. Okay, it sounds good in theory, but really, if you wanted to be on the stars and you land on the moon, and that's the way that you create success in your life, sure, you land on the moon a bunch of times, but now you've gone, but that's not really what I wanted. That's not what I was really aiming for. And so, even though it's quite impressive, and even though you've probably got an accolade, a career trajectory of all, like a compendium of all the amazing things that you've done, they're all a little bit, dare I say, muted, dare I say, dulled by this little internal dialogue of, yeah, but that wasn't actually what I was aiming for. So when we have this discounting of our genius, discounting of what we do, this indifference to how great we really are, plus the reticence to actually witness our beauty, it's this kind of like heroin junkie addiction um, to saying nasty things to ourselves, to setting really high expectations, to getting a reward for this negative behavior, and then never really feeling satisfied. So what we're doing here is we're just activating and pressing on our lungs, breathing in this contempt to self, breathing in all the ways in which you've rejected or pushed yourself away because you didn't meet some strange timeline of the goal that you wanted, or some like specific, very specific way you said it had to show up. And this game we like to play for ourselves, this dopamine hit where we say nasty things to ourselves, we try to go out there and prove our worthiness, we get the sugar hit, the dopamine hit that shows up and shows us, oh yes, you're allowed to take on board that glee, that excitement, that like euphoria on the top of the mountain. And what actually coming into alignment and balance is like, of course, you could always go to the stars, you could always go to the moon, you could go to wherever you want. You don't have to play that game of constantly trying to prove yourself to yourself. Therefore, you're going to have beautiful, instead of big sugar crashes, sugar influxes and sugar downs. Instead of riding this ego wave, you're going to actually have beautiful whole foods. You're going to have beautiful, lasting sustenance. You'll have a cacao instead of, Cadbury chocolate. Now, it's very alluring to have that junk food style, or even heroin junkie way of creating achievement, but it's not sustainable, it's not truth, it's not living in harmonious balance with the world around you. It doesn't have drama embedded into it, the depths of despair and the agony of not being able to live up to your own expectations or your perceived projected expectations of what daddy or the invisible others all said that you had to do. And then you also miss out on the hyperactive elation, joyful elation of like, oh my God, I can't believe I did it. That's very, very addictive to the overachiever, to the high achiever. And so what happens is when you strip all that away, it's kind of like the difference between the uru, the labyrinth, the uru and the skeksis. I think it's the ursus. Ursus is the one in the middle. The integrated one. This one is far more powerful, far more far-reaching, and truthful. Skeksis and ursus. Oh, that was the Urskex. If you ever watched The Dark Crystal, the Urskex were the ones that they integrated those two parts, the spiritual bypassing, I guess, the spiritual humility, but then also the ego. How do we bring those together? This is what we're doing here. We're finding your truth so that you create this incredibly strong, cutting diamond drill that you're so clear and focused on your purpose, on your mission. You're so magnetically attractive to those who are meant to be contributing to your mission. You are a part of something that's far larger than you just accumulating money in your bank account. It's not about that. It's about really deeply fulfilling this higher purpose contributing a legacy that goes far beyond your lifetime. We're looking 7 generations that came before us. We're looking to them for guidance. We are making decisions thinking of the 7 generations who are going to come after us. And yes, as a byproduct, money shows up. So I'm just going to finish this healing off, this integration off for you by really expanding our capacity to receive wealth so we can do really great things with it, because we're done with the idea that more money makes us more greedy, that it's greedy to want more money, because when more heart-centered entrepreneurial women have more financial abundance, entire communities prosper as a result. So what do we need to do to really expand our capacity for wealth? And I'm going to talk about this as a buffer. What is our actual, as a community, what's our community right now, a buffer that we're willing to receive? No, I'm going to go month. No, it's going to be a year annual income that we're going to receive from this highest intention. We're right now 10, 20, 10, 20? Is it month? Yeah. So right now, as a community, we're only attributing 20K for the whole year to come outside of our intentional effort and attention. And this is going to be about the ways in which we create a domino effect. We spark something and aligned opportunities find their way to us. What are we going to do here? So what do we need to do to expand that? Fire, earth, spleen, low self-esteem, let go of that low self-esteem. Have the courage to ask for more, to expect for more. We only get, you receive what you believe you deserve to, you receive what you believe you deserve. You receive what you expect. How can we raise the bar of what we expect, of what we think can be possible, of creating joint venture alliances, of collaborating, of pooling our resources, of expanding our intention far and wide so it's beyond this transactional patriarchal nature of I get this thing, I work these hard hours, this 9 to 5, and then I get this money, like bleh, vomit. Ooh. Ooh. Okay, so now where are we at now? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, so 8, 900. We're now at 100K. So we've expended out 100K that can come to us as a residual income, as like a byproduct of how awesome we are. And I'm just going to go energetically. Energetically, we're still at 20K as well, because I think you just haven't spent any time attracting it intentionally, like going, this is when we think only hard work plus sacrifice equals the money in my bank account. What if alignment to my joy, contributing in a massive way to the things that matter the most to me, creates exponential, uncapped income that is untethered from my effort? Woo! Okay, now just aligning that 10, 20, what do we need to do? Fire, earth, metal, water, bladder. Pissed off at the situation. So we're going to rub being pissed off to our situation, bladder. So that's that pubic bone meridian. Oh, that moves really quick for me. Recognizing that we've got a lot. It's kind of like, if you've got a baby, you've got a toddler that's learning how, a baby is trying to walk. Imagine telling the toddler, that was really shit, you fell over. Imagine kicking the toddler whilst it's crawling. We wouldn't do that, right? We would joyfully encourage ourselves. We would champion ourselves. We would cheerlead the toddler. So why not we do it to ourselves as well? So even though it's not that yet showing up in the amount that it showed up, and all the ways in which you get pissed off because you've landed on the stars instead of the moon and not been appreciative of being on the moon or the stars, whichever one it is. That saying, by the way, switches depending on where you're at. That's why I'm having some confusion around that. But just breathing it in, just imagine like a giant tiddalik, which is a massive toad. It's a legend, a fable from the Dreamtime, the Australian Aborigines. Imagine you're just gulping up all of this energetic income that's coming to you, that's just finding its way to you like a river like water finding its way to you. Where are we now as a collective? 10, 20, 30, 40, 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 800, 900 million. We've just expanded our capacity to allow $1 million in a financial year find its way to us, that comes to us, that is outside of our hard work. 1 + 1 = 2, outside of our effort, energy, attention, and time. I would really love to encourage you to take a little bit of time to integrate this feeling, notice what shifts for you. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear what drops in for you. I'd love to hear how synchronicities, it's almost like, your reticular activation system, you'll put on glasses. It's like, when you maybe see a new color car and then you see it everywhere after that, or you learn a new word and then suddenly you see it everywhere. Your reticular activation system is now activated. You are a clear conduit, clear container to receive this new meaningful way, effortless way of attracting a client's income, energy, money, to feel deserving of it, expectant of it, certain for it. And hopefully this leads you to that next place of taking this now and taking some really amazing, strong, strategic steps. If that is going to look at that workshop, which is in my Facebook group, or you can message me info@biancaa.com for your copy and your prompts. Do that. It's been real. It's been fun. I'm just going to do a little karakia to say thank you to the ancestors who helped us bring this through. Kia hora te marino, kia whakapapa pona mu te moana, he hura, he huarahi mā tātou I te rangi nei, aroha atu, aroha mai, tātou I a tātou katoa, huie tākie. Which means, may peace be widespread, may the sea be like greenstone, a pathway for us all. This day, love received, love returned for one another, bind us all together. So if you'd like to get that masterclass plus the ChatGPT prompts, the work booklet, you can go to biancaa.com/shift and you will grab those as well for you. Ka kite, speak to you soon. Find me, chat to me. Look forward to hearing from you. Ka kite, bye for now.